All right. So Joe Rogan is receiving backlash because he, on his podcast, suggested that younger people that are healthy
don't need to get the vaccine.
And that was coming from his experience. He even stated this whenever he said it, that from his experience, younger people that were healthy were not necessarily going to be affected by the virus nearly as much as people that are older and in poor health. And statistically speaking,
he could not have been any more correct.
He even said on the show he's not anti-vax, he's not any sort of those things. He made the point to say that his children, his friends that had dealt with the virus, from his experience, it was not a walk in the park, and I shouldn't say it like that, but it was not necessarily as deadly as a lot of people make it out to be. That was his opinion. That's what he stated. And then after this moment on his podcast, and he's a very high profile speaker, influencer, people jumped on his case to a degree that I had never seen before. And he's a controversial guy. He's not Howard Stern controversial, but he's very, very controversial. He has controversial people on. He has former KKK members, astrophysicists. He has athletes, MMA fighters, billionaires. Elon Musk went on there and smoked,
marijuana.
Regardless, he made it a point that it was his opinion that the vaccine didn't necessarily resonate with him in terms of younger population. And people jumped his case to a degree I had never seen before. I mean, you had all the news outlets calling him many different names. You had Fauci coming out, and you had Biden, and all these people talking about how you need to get the vaccine.
Everybody needs to get the vaccine.
And jumping his case for it, when it's just one guy stating an opinion. It almost seems like you aren't allowed to have opinions. And that's the reason why Rogan was successful in the first place, was because he had opinions. And he had people on that had opinions, and he listened to opinions, and he responded to opinions. If you go and you look back at his other guests and his other interviews, you can find a billion things wrong with stuff if you want to. If you look for something bad, you're going to find it. You're going to find it. Because you set yourself up like that. That's how the human mentality works, how the human brain works. You'll find something bad. And seemingly, people aren't allowed to have opinions on radio. Rogan's not allowed to have opinions. If he's not allowed to have opinions, you can get rid of his show. You can get rid of his $100 million contract on Spotify, $300 million, whatever the hell it was. You can get rid of it all. Because that's the only reason people like him. People are going to stop watching. The population wants to hear that. The population doesn't want to hear Fauci, who's sitting up in an ivory tower looking down on people, telling people what to do, and he wants control. They want Rogan, a normal guy, stating that from his experience, you don't need to get the vaccine. They want that. People want that. They don't want the skewed nature of these politicians. They don't want Biden having to tell them they don't want Biden telling everybody that now that everybody's getting vaccinated, you can finally see each other without masks on. Everybody wasn't seeing each other without masks on anyways.
People were hanging out without masks anyways.
Rogan comes from that point of view. Nobody was wearing masks anyways in private. People were hanging out with people without masks on.
Period.
If you knew somebody, you were hanging out without a mask on because you talked to them and you'd be like, did you have COVID? 99% of the time, people will tell you the truth. And 99% of the time, people know if they had COVID. And that's the point right there. You don't kill someone for stating an opinion. You don't shoot the messenger. Joe Rogan's just a messenger. He's speaking for the people. He's speaking from his side of the people. There's a lot of people like him. And the reason that, there is a lot of people like him is because there's a lot of people that listen to his show and like his show. The reason a lot of people like his show is because he represents a lot of people. You don't get to where he is if you don't represent a lot of people. Or if you don't listen to a lot of people. People like being listened to. And he listens. And he responds. He states his opinion occasionally, and he has a lot of crazy opinions, and you can't get rid of that. You can't kill this guy for this. And everybody's trying to do it. He came out and said, I'm a moron, which I don't think he's a moron. He's just saying that because everybody's jumping his case. You got these politicians jumping his case. I don't think anybody cares. I don't think any of his listeners care what he said. I just don't think it cares. You don't have to get the vaccine. You don't have to. Period.